Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's we're going to be looking at the Honda Ridgeline TrailSport. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Honda here in Murray for giving me some time with this TrailSport. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a 3.5 liter V6 that goes through a 9-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 18 around town and then 23 on the highway, with power outputs being 280 horsepower and then 262 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. Now, when it comes to front end design, it's pretty interesting. So the hood's pretty boxy with the design, but then once you pop down the lights, it's a lot more rounded off. And overall, I mean, I think the light design's pretty cool. I like the little TrailSport badge there and the grille. You got the turn signal indicators down below. And overall, it's a pretty good looking truck. And this is why you go TrailSport. 245 by 60 by 18 in the front and over in the rear. You've got these larger spokes with the wheels, which kind of looks a little bit more rugged. You got these nice all-terrain tires as well. You can see all the cladding here on the bottom with it. Blacked out mirror cap setup. And then if we take a few steps back, here's your side profile. This is where you can see the truck bed part. And this of course leads us to the key fob, if it'll ever focus. We have our lock and unlock remote start function. Got the Honda logo there on the back. Pretty straightforward setup. And the tailgate here is really cool. So it's not dampened, but it is pretty hardcore. It does the normal tailgate thing. So excuse me, it drops down like normal. You can see we've got this nice spacious truck bed, but we can lift this up and then we can grab this handle over here by the TrailSport badge and it opens up like a swing gate, and then this lets us access the little trunk here in the back. We also have the spare tire back there as well. And something to note, if you ever have a chance, go to a Honda dealership and open the trunk area here and just smell it. It kind of, I'm sure it's some sort of chemical, but it kind of smells perfumey in the back. It's interesting, to say the least. Who knew chemicals smell like a woman? Anyways, we've got these taillights here. Again, TrailSport there, dual exhaust tip setup, and there's the rest of the rear. Now this leads us inside, where you can see we've got this nice soft touch trim here with the stitching, got cup holder action, and then here are the seats. And then you've got this to lift up the bottom of the seat and move this off to the side. This is a mid-size pickup truck, so it's not going to be massively spacious, but I mean, it fit back here. Got a storage pocket. We've got some vents here in the rear as well. I really like these seats, by the way. Really nice trim. And what is this? Usually don't see this in a mid-size pickup truck. Yeah, got to really dig in there. Yeah, cup holder armrest. That's nice. It's a big one, at least. It does pop down a bit, but overall headroom's pretty good. And then this leads us up front. So again, got this nice soft touch trim here and down below. All of our window controls, notice the front to rear automatic. You got your memory seat function. I don't know why the door, oh, it's the wind. Blind spot running with the mirrors as well. Truck stuff payload on this is 1477. And then you guys can see TrailSport there. Got the perforations in the seats and the adjustments there on the side. We've got our mirror adjustments here, and then you guys can see for the collision assistance, turn that off, lane departure, and the steering wheel, by the way, manually adjustable, and you also have the econ mode. Now take a look at the steering wheel. You can see soft touch here at the top and at the bottom. You got this cool orange stitching perforated on either side. Paddle shifters there on the back. You also have stuff like adaptive cruise control. You've got your lane centering. You have your heated steering wheel function, controls here for the center, which we'll go over in a second. Traditional stocks here in the back. And then, yeah, here is that center. So you can see different bits of information and systems within the Ridgeline. I'll also show you the traction modes. Now, this doesn't have a tow haul mode, but it does have 5,000 pounds of towing capacity, so still practical as a truck. Backup camera in reverse. Trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel. And then, as for the rest of the infotainment system, they updated this for the Ridgeline, so just looks a little bit fresher, a little bit easier to use because it's Honda's newer unit. It's got vents on either side, which is kind of interesting. Nice soft touch trim all over the dash, by the way. And then we've got our tri-zone climate system down below, which I'll sync that all up. And yeah, pretty easy to use with the physical controls, heated seats. We also have some USB ports here with a wireless phone charging pad, some cup holders, and then we've got our parking brake set up here with reverse, neutral, and your automatic mode for either sport or normal driving. And then you've got the terrain mode select, and then your auto stop start. Good storage here in the center console. Nice trim here in the top, some fancy stitching. Pretty normal. Rear view mirror, and then we do have a sunroof up top as well. So here's a quick look at the window sticker. You guys can see 2025 Ridgeline TrailSport. Total MSRP $47,230. And see how it performs. Ridgeline away. Visibility, by the way, out the back, not the greatest, but still pretty good. Something I've noticed about these unibody trucks is rearward visibility is not as good as a body and frame truck. And well, here's why. So with a body and frame truck, right, you've got the frame, you've got the cab, and you've got the bed. So with everything being separate, it makes it a little bit easier to construct the truck in a way to where the cab sits high enough to where you can, it's kind of like above the bed in a way, right, part of the cab, so then you can see over it quite well. Whereas with unibody, being, well, unibody construction, everything's all kind of like melded together, and so the cab, right, it's not actually a cab, right, because it's all just one thing. It's just, it's got to be more level, right? The construction's got to be more even, or else it's not gonna be able to be unibody. So it's kind of an interesting setup. The Maverick's the same way. Like you get into a traditional truck and you feel like you sit above the bed. You get into this and the Ford Maverick and the Hyundai Santa Cruz, and you feel like you're sitting below or like kind of in the bed. Just an interesting detail. But the Ridgeline drives really well. I'm happy to see this become more and more popular, because I think it's been pretty underrated, right? It's reliable and it is super practical, right? You got the truck bed, you've got solid payload. Again, 5,000 pounds, that's enough for a lot of people with towing capacity, and it gets pretty good fuel economy. So there's just a lot to like about it. And then it's car-like with the driving, because it is a car, right? It's unibody. So you get the comfortable, smooth drive, good turning radius. And then the other thing is it's easy to get in and out of. So like trucks, you got to step up into them, generally speaking. This, just like every crossover, you just slide into it. You don't have to step up. So from my perspective, it's a much more pleasant experience with getting in and out of it. So it makes it more daily drivable. It's great. I mean, this, you know, Salt Lake's all urbanized now. There's like no farms anymore. This is a great urban vehicle, right? You don't need a big pickup truck here. So it just makes sense. But we'll see what the acceleration's like here. So yeah, suspension of those train tracks is nice. Not too bad. Not too bad. So, to cap things off, I think this drives well. I think it looks pretty good. I still think that the Ridgeline needs a refresh on the exterior, and the new 10-speed and the, you know, a little bit of a tune that the new Pilot has would be great in the Ridgeline. Honda, chop chop. But yeah, it's a nice vehicle, and you know, the updates make this feel a little bit more modern. And like I said, I think this is the truck that makes sense for most people, because the only benefits you get out of a traditional truck is higher towing capacity. Do you need that? Do you actually tow? And then better off-road capability. Do you actually take it off-road, right? So if the towing capacity and the off-road capability stuff doesn't apply to you, then this just makes more sense. So let me know what you guys think about the Ridgeline, but I think this is a great pickup truck alternative, and it was the first in the segment, and I think the segment's going to continue to grow because there's a lot of people that just want affordable truck-like vehicles.